Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us again for another episode of When Ebenezer Talks. I am Palmer Bunting, and let me put this disclaimer out. This is probably not going to be an ordinary interview, even though we're sitting in front of the Lord's table.
Hallelujah.
Thank you, Jesus.
Right.
But it's not going to be. I'm delighted to be on location at the Crystal Cathedral.
Oh, please.
First Baptist Church, East End, Newport News, with my friend, my brother, Pastor Reverend Dr. Jamaar Jones. Jamaar, thank you. I don't know what you're trying. You and Tremaine Johnson keeps throwing this alpha.
It's just a message. It's just a subliminal message. That's all.
Message.
Yeah. I should have called him to come down here.
Okay. Listen, we have been friends now, what, Jamaar, 5-6 years?
Yeah.
I met Pastor Jones while I was co-chairing with Pastor Joseph Fleming, Baptist General Convention annual session, the year we convened in Chesapeake, and I saw, let me be honest, I saw this big-head man walking around. I said, who is this little dude walking around like he in charge of something? And then when I heard him get on the organ and watched him pull the music part, the music component together for Baptist General Convention, I said, oh my God, he's not only talented, but he's anointed. Jamaar, God has truly blessed you. Tell us something about yourself as your early days from P-Town. Talk to us about yourself.
Well, I was born in Richmond, raised in Portsmouth by my grandparents, Reverend Henry and Yvonne Jones. Been in church all my life, but always had an affinity for music. So in our house, we had a big upright piano that I would touch, but I didn't know what I was doing. Then I was a drummer, and I thought that was what I was going to do in life. So I had a paper drum set when I was like 3, tore that up. Then they bought me a step-up drum set. And man, I would sit in front of that TV and watch Milton Brunson's choir or whoever. And then I had a little tape recorder with my toy box over here, and I would bang on that. So I just been a musical guy all my life. But yeah, grew up in Portsmouth. Noble Street Baptist Church was our home church, and all of us were there, all of our immediate family. And we've done it all from Sunday school superintendent. My granddaddy was a deacon and a trustee. I don't even think you can do that no more. Do you have deacons?
They do it in the country. Yeah, they do it in the country.
He was a deacon and a trustee. My grandmother was a church clerk for somebody we both know.
Yes, we
Reverend
do.
Ronnie T. Noble
Reverend
Sr.
Ronnie, yes, sir.
My first pastor who baptized me. And
he was my first pastor.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
He was at Noble Street. My grandma was his clerk. And so that's just who I am, man. I've been in church all my life, but I do have a life outside of church.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that.
Okay.
So tell us about your call. You followed your grandfather around. I've heard you talk about your grandfather, the influence and the appreciation that you have for him. When did you know you were called to preach?
So my grandparents will probably tell you that they saw it on me very young.
Yeah, because his grandmother says that he is a genius. She said it in this pulpit.
I told
that
you don't cut that out.
I'm not going to cut it out. That he was in the 2nd grade reading on a 5th grade level. Anybody that's listening to the educators, you all know exactly what I'm talking about. So I'm interviewing a genius here. So tell us about your call.
I had an IEP in school. So I felt that call come. I guess I was about 16 or 17. I would be in church services where before I was attracted to the music, so it shifted to where I'd be attracted to the preaching. And I didn't know all of what they were saying or whatever, but I would feel this fire. You know, Jeremiah talks about it. And I would feel that fire, man, and I didn't know what it was. But from a young child, I mean, I would put on my grandma's robes. A guy at our church named Mr. Leroy Wingfield, he gone to be with the Lord. He bought me a microphone. I could mimic my granddaddy's preaching as a young child. So I guess it was on me then, I just didn't know. But through teenage years, but I didn't want to be one of those like high school preachers, you know? So I kind of waited a little bit, but I didn't run or nothing like that. So that's kind of when I felt the call. And then I just went up and told my granddaddy one day, I'm called to preach. And he said, I feel sorry for you. I was about 19. So he said, when you want to do your initial sermon? You know, I didn't go through all the, you know, some preachers make
you didn't go through what we put people through.
Right, exactly. I didn't have a class, and
You'd have to
you got
write
to pray,
sermons.
fast for 6 months. I didn't do all that. He said, when you want to preach in the sermon? I gave him the date, preached my initial sermon. I was 20 years old. That was in '09. And then, but the music part of me helped with the call, because I started out just being an organist, just playing, but then you get on the microphone, you begin to worship, lead, exhort, sing, and it's a little bit of preaching in that. So I guess that was my training when I didn't know I had the call, and then it kind of moved on from there.
Yeah. So I've always admired preachers who can play and musicians who can preach. How has that helped you as a pastor?
So that's part of my story in coming here, and I'm sure we'll get to, but when you are a musician in church, you are stepping into a leadership role from the get-go, because you are, though you're playing, you are leading people. And so playing for choirs or a praise team, even a youth choir, a group of your peers that are looking to you for direction. And so I've learned a lot of lessons from that, how to work with people, how to organize, how to administrate, personalities, a little bit of politicking, you know how church is.
Yeah.
And so all of that plays a role, and then trying to curate music for the service. So what's appropriate? What hymn is appropriate? What season are we in? You know, let's do this song, see how people respond. Okay, let's do that song, see how people respond. What do older members like? What do younger members like? You know, what works for this church that may not work for another church? All of that comes together when you become a pastor, because you may now be the person managing somebody who you were at another church, and you have that conversation with them from your experience from back then. So all of that helps. And then the minister of music I grew up under, his name is Minister Earl Bynum. Y'all probably have heard of him before. Minister Earl Bynum was our minister of music at Noble Street under Pastor Northam. And I would watch this man electrify us every Sunday. And he could sing, he could play, and he would put a little bit of preaching in it. And so I would sit on the front row and just be in awe of this man on any given Sunday. And so he's probably the first influence that I've seen. Now, I don't know that I've ever heard him preach a sermon, but the way he directed and led and sang and played helped show me. And then as I came up, I would see other people who were doing it like that, you know, and some of them were young like me. Pastor Cedric Rowson is one of them, over at Place of Change in Chesapeake, Virginia. Very young minister of music. And so seeing people like those guys and some others kind of let me know, maybe I'll do that. So that's what I thought I would do forever, minister of music. And then it's like every time you think you're here, God says, I got something for you here.
Yeah. So let's fast forward.
Okay.
You come to First Baptist East End under my friend, your friend, Reverend Dr. Gregory Howard.
Yes, sir.
And he hires you as his executive pastor. I want to walk slowly through that moment.
Okay.
You're hired. What year? Tell us about it. How did you get to that before we move to the next step? Because you never left First Baptist East End.
Right. So let's backtrack just one step. So I go to Samuel Dewitt Proctor School of Theology at Virginia Union University.
Of course, we have to talk about Virginia
Absolutely.
Union.
You actually have on the colors today. You're very Virginia Union today. I go there and I take his preaching class.
Okay.
And I did well. So I asked him, could I intern at his church? Pastor Joseph Fleming is the connector, because he says, take my friend Gregory Howard.
Well, Joe Fleming is the connector for everybody.
And everything.
Yeah.
Take my friend Gregory Howard. I said, okay, I take the class. I actually got an A in Dr. Howard's class. So I said, can I intern at your church? I interned here. So I started out, that was 2017. He begins to talk to me about this executive minister thing. And he's saying, you know, I'm looking for somebody that can be another set of pastoral eyes, somebody that can assist me, da-da-da-da-da. I told him, sitting in the office I currently reside in now, right through those doors, I hope you find who you're looking for. Because I'm thinking, when my granddaddy retires, Moses is going to pass the torch to Joshua. So I'm in Portsmouth, minister of music, I'm good. But when I left this building that day, God said, I just opened the door for you and you closed it back in my face. So I called Dr. Howard back. I said, that job you were talking about, executive minister, I'm interested. He said, when I put it online, make sure you apply for it. He never put it online. So he hires me, and that's 2018 when I came here, about August of 2018. And I end up becoming the executive minister and the minister of music. So he says, start out with the minister of music because it's going to help you build relationships with the people that I need you to build relationships with. And from there, it just blossomed. And I did that from 2018 through the pandemic. Pastor Howard transitioned to another assignment in 2019. 2020, we began the year. Everybody thought new vision 2020. Pandemic hits. We go into pre-recording mode, empty sanctuary, just like it is now, looking at a camera, preaching. I was here through all of that. And I was part of the executive administration team trying to help guide the church. And so then in 2021, I applied for the position and interviewed and did all the things. And between the people and God, here I am as the pastor.
Did you ever think during that time of helping them and assisting them that you would be the pastor here?
No, but I'm going to tell you a story. This is an exclusive for all people that may be watching from First Baptist. This is a Palmer Bunting exclusive. Me, Pastor Howard, and I went to go visit a lady named Miss Helen Bandit. She's gone to be with the Lord. This is 2018. I'm fresh. I'm green. I don't know nothing. We go to her house to visit her, and he steps out of the room, and she looks at me and says, young man, I'm excited for you to be our new minister. I said, yes, ma'am. I'm glad to be here. You know, Pastor Howard brought me in, blah, blah, blah. She said, you're not listening to what I'm saying. She said, I'm excited for you to be our new minister. I said, yeah, I'm glad to be here, da, da, da. You know, I'm trying to be humble. She says, you the next pastor of that church. I said, no, ma'am. I don't even know you like that for you to say that. She said, because she was in her 90s, older lady, full of wisdom, but she talked a lot of trash. So we had a little back and forth right there. And she said, okay. She said, you watch what I tell you. She said, God has something else for him. She said, but you're going to be the next pastor of that church. She said, and I ain't going to say nothing else. I still have the voicemail on my phone from November of 2021 when she called me and congratulated me. That's the night I got elected. And she said, didn't I tell you was going to be the next pastor? So I didn't think so, but God laid it on her and probably some others that just haven't revealed it to me that I would be next. But I did not come here with the thought that I was the next pastor. I had figured, okay, I'm going to come here, do maybe 5 years with Pastor Howard as best I can, 5, 6, 7 years as executive minister. Then I'm going to go search for my own, perhaps church to pastor. So it was kind of oblivious to me. Now, in the pandemic, I will say, God and I started having our little conversations like, okay, God, I'm still here. I didn't leave. What's going on? So to answer your question, no, I did not. But I think God started to show me along the way some different steps I'd take.
How was it? Because you started pastoring in a pandemic.
Yes.
Churches shut down internally. Mm-hmm. You're either outside or you're virtual.
Right.
That's a hard way for a new pastor who has never pastored. Yeah. And you couldn't go to your grandfather and say, Papa, what do I do? Because none of us had pastored in that moment.
New territory, yeah.
How did you navigate it?
Week by week. We would come in here we started out on Fridays, then it went back to like Thursdays. And sometimes it would be me and the praise team. Sometimes it would just be me and the media team, because at some point we stopped music and just did sermons. But I wasn't seeing anybody except for maybe like key leaders, and that was maybe on Zoom, maybe a trustee or two when we are out here at night. Mm-hmm. But how can I say it? I went back to my young days when I used to pretend church. So I'd come in here and pretend this place was full. Mm-hmm. I'd go in the parking lot and of course see people honking their horns and stuff. But I have such an imagination until I just put myself in my imagination. Mm-hmm. You couldn't visit people in the hospital for real. Mm-hmm. Talking to people on the phone is limited. Zoom, Bible studies, stuff like that. So I just took it week by week because literally we played it as safe as we could play it. So we didn't have a lot of practice services or coming back early, none like that. So I just took it week by week. That's the best I can say. And we tried to stay ahead of the game in terms of keeping up with what the CDC was saying and whatever meetings we need to have. And we tried to be creative with our online ministry and stuff like that. But yeah, that's how we did it.
Let's move forward, because you have done a phenomenal job. And I've preached here just about every year since the pandemic, and we made a pact that we was going to always preach for each other once a year. And I'll say more about our friendship towards the end. But I've never been in this church where it has not been high energy, great worship. He has probably the friendliest church that I've ever seen. They met us at the door today. I think they were trying to make sure we wasn't coming in here to do nothing to them. But he has the most friendliest church. I want to talk about challenges, because all of us as pastors, this is Clergy Appreciation Month.
Sure.
What have been some of your biggest challenges coming in, first time pastorate, and following such a major voice as Greg Howard?
One challenge, I think, was shifting from executive minister to pastor, but still feeling like the executive minister. When I first became pastor, and you're in a pandemic, so you only do what you think is you're supposed to be doing. So I think one challenge, if I could go back and change something, I would have built relationships earlier. But you're in a pandemic, so you're not seeing people. But I was kind of closed off in the beginning because I felt like, how can I say it? I knew the people at a certain level, but I didn't know them at the pastor level. So I felt like, well, let me just dial back and we'll just be a little distant, and in time it'll come. I should have been a little more forward with that. So I think that was a challenge, the distance. It was not with everybody, but with some of the people, it was a distance. And that distance, I had to shift my personality. I'm like an introverted extrovert. I can flow in and out of that. But I love being to myself and by myself, and in the house by myself, because I just have a good time by myself. But when you're a pastor, in my opinion, you have to become a people person, because you're leading people. And so as much as I thought I was a people person, I was not when I first became. So that was a challenge. Another challenge is I am bringing, at that time I was 33, 32. I'm bringing 32-year-old energy into a 120-some-year-old church. And what I may think is progressive and fresh and new, some people are like, whoa, So trying to slow down to match the pace at which the people can receive what you're trying to do, as opposed to, let's do this now, let's zoom, And so some of those shifts, were difficult. Music and worship. I'm no longer the minister of music now. Now I'm the pastor, but I'm still playing. At first, when we came back to church, we were out from 2020 to 2022. First 6 or 7 months of 2022, I was still playing. Get up off the organ and go preach. Trying to just figure out who I was as a pastor was another challenge. And when you're young, you see the church probably far ahead, as opposed to the people who are like, well, wait a minute, you're just getting here. We need to get to know you. You need to get to know us. You need to learn some stuff. You need to grow. You need to mature. So I think, did I answer your question?
Yeah, you did.
Okay.
You did.
You wouldn't lie to me if I
I
did.
probably would not lie to you. I would not lie to you or on you.
Okay.
I see the success. I see the education. Let's talk about Jamaar.
Okay.
What is it that you do outside of all of this? A lot of pastors have not learned how to function, because I've struggled with this, and I've shared this with you, how to function outside of the pastoral title.
Yeah.
What does Jamaar do without letting all your secrets out? What do you do to kind of cope with the weight of cross-bearing.
That's good, way. That's real preachery. I like the way you said that.
I'm smart like you.
I'm telling you, you're holy.
And
You're
I went to St. Paul's and not in Office State.
You're a pastor. He pastors 2 churches. That's how he's able to do that.
We're not even going there today.
I spent a lot of time on YouTube looking at anything you can think of that ain't got nothing to do with the Lord. And I don't mean that in a immoral way, but music. I'm a movie buff, but I like old movies. Everybody keeps saying I got an old soul. I've been here before. I think
Yeah,
it's true.
you do. Your old soul might be older than mine.
I like old movies, man. Movies from back when. Video games. I'm not as avid of a gamer as some people, but I will play.
You won't play me in 2K.
Well, you just let me know,
The
man.
next December, you playing me in 2K when you come over.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
But see, I like to play with like the '93 Bulls, so they gonna.
And I
don't play with these new guys.
I played with Magic Johnson and all
okay.
them.
Oh,
So
that'd be a good game.
do it.
That'd be a good game. Okay, good. You know, so video games, music, movies. I like to get in my car, man, and drive. Sometimes it's therapeutic for me. I put my little music on, get a nice playlist. I put the dog in the back seat, and sometimes we just go. We ain't going nowhere. We just go.
Tell us about the cake baking. 'Cause I'm still waiting on my cake.
So my grandmother is a dynamite cook and baker. So before I started asking her about things to cook, I would ask her about baking. And she would show me box cake was first, then bread pudding, believe it or not. But I ain't made that in a long time, so don't ask for that. Box cake, bread pudding. Never got into pies because she is the queen of sweet potato pies. I still don't know how to make
I can't wait till next week. I'm going to find out for myself.
I still can't make a pie. But pound cake, she showed me pound cake. And she's very meticulous, like most good cooks are, about it, you know. Put the eggs in one at a time, not all together, you know. Let them come to room temp for this cake. You gotta do something different for this. You gotta do something different for that. Icing should be like painting a canvas. I still don't ice well, so my icing still looks terrible. But that's kind of, and you know this because you're a cook, in case y'all didn't know. I don't know about baking. Do you bake?
I bake pies. That's
Do
all
you?
I bake, yeah.
Cook. Patience, right? It takes patience.
It does.
And you're learning, like it's almost like what you're preparing is teaching you. So that helps you calm down and relax. Because when you do it fast, I had a lady at my home church named Miss Murphy. She's going to be with the Lord. She said she was going to show me how to make, what were we making? I think it was an apple cobbler or something. Mm-hmm. She said, give me your hand. She said, I need to look at your nails. She said, make sure they clean. She said, how you feel today? I said, I feel good. She said, good. She said, because if you're ugly or nasty inside, that's how your food gonna come out. She said, so make sure your face ain't turned up and you ain't in no bad mood, because your food gonna come out the way you feel. So the baking thing, and I don't do it as much as I used to because I love sweets, so I had to dial it back. But yeah, stuff like that, man. And I just try. I probably shouldn't say this, but I'm gonna say it anyway.
It's on my podcast.
I'm on when Ebenezer Talks.
Yeah, you
man.
can say what you want to say on this podcast.
I do my best not to go to church when I don't have to. And when I say that, I mean other services that are not First Baptist. This is my priority, and this is primary responsibility. When I leave here, I don't want to be in church no more. I've done it. When I was younger, I ran to all the services. I've played for community choirs. I did it all. Your producer that's behind the camera that y'all can't see, you probably agree with me on this. Amen. Right. You'll be in church all week. I don't understand how some people just in church every day, all day. They don't do nothing else. So, and then the other thing, man, is family is important to me as well. Mm-hmm. So I go see my grandparents, you know. My mother's in Richmond. I drive to Richmond. We'll hang out, you know. My father, he's in Chesapeake. You know, my brother, my little brother, who is my father's son, and my sister, they now have children. So sometimes I try to get with them. Sometimes my cousins from my granddaddy's side of the family, we've gotten together, game nights. Mm-hmm. And then I have friends, man, that I can call and say,
you do.
Let's meet at such and such a place that y'all don't need to know about, and let's hang out, you know? I like to play spades, even though I can't get no competition around here. I like to play spades and just hang out and have a good time, because life, you said on another podcast that somebody taught you that life is not that serious.
Life is not.
It's just not.
And I'm glad you said that, because Jamaar, I'm glad you said the part about you don't want to be in church all the time, because I've gotten to a point when you were like us. Jamaar and I have similar family histories.
Yeah.
And so I can say this on both our behalves. We stayed in church more than, church and school was where we were.
Absolutely.
And about 5 or 10 years ago, I got to a point where I was just glad to go on Sunday morning. And now I'm to a point where once I've preached twice on Sunday, I don't mind revivals. If you want revival, call me, I'm your man. I'll do revivals. But running to this little service, cockroach day, goldfish day, a cake toting day. No. That's not for me. And it's not that I'm so arrogant that I feel like I'm above it. But after you've done this and you have administered, pastoring is more than just preaching on Sunday morning.
Absolutely.
You are an administrator. You are carrying the load of staff. When we walked in here this morning, there were 2 staff persons met us at the door. There were 2 or 3 staff persons in his office. His office is as big as one of my churches. And so I understand that you want to get away from that.
You do.
And so it moves.
And then when you
us.
go in public, hey, Pastor Bunting.
Yes, sir. You can't go to Food
I
Line,
can't even.
Kroger.
Yeah, and it's not a bad thing. You don't. It's not like we're offended or nothing like that. But it's just like I'm just trying to get groceries. I kind of understand how celebrities feel. They can't go out. You know? And I'm gonna. And that since you're sharing, I'm gonna share a little known fact, and it'll probably piss the people off over home, but that's good. A lot of times I keep my headset. I got trucker headsets. Oh, okay.
And I keep my headset on, and I make people think I'm on the phone. A lot of times I'm not on the phone. I just have them on my head, so I'm not bothered. And I know somebody's gonna take that wrong. But get in line. A whole lot of people think I'm wrong right now. So I have my headset on because sometimes you just wanna
be.
Just be. So Jamaar.
Hold on, go back. I'm gonna tell you something. I struggled coming back to church in person from being out of church in the pandemic. Because we were out so long, we erred on the side of safety. So vaccine, mandate, temperature check, mask, social distancing. Because our thing was, and this wasn't a Pastor Jones thing, this was a team leader thing, we did not want anybody getting sick from coming to here. So we did our best to do what we could.
Because I think I came here one year and preached for you, and I had to get my temperature checked. Was that your installation temperature check?
No, we had come out of it by then. It was probably when we first came back to church.
I think so.
You came that year. That was your
that was my first year here.
Of Baptist General Convention.
President.
So when we came back in person and people are everywhere, man, I was like, oh, I don't know what to do with this. Versus, because we were out so long and we were pre-recording for so long, we had a system. Well, that system was interrupted when you say we're coming back to church and we're going to be live. And you know this as well as I do because you were pastoring before the pandemic. There's nothing like the energy of an in-person service.
It's not.
So when I preached that first in-person service, man, I thought I was on top of one of the Great Pyramids or something. I thought it was an out-of-body experience from being in an empty sanctuary on most weeks. So I struggled with that, and I had to like readjust and relearn how to do worship service in person. I don't know what that had to do with anything, but I just felt like it should be included.
I want to talk one more thing before we close out. And I told you, this is not no normal interview for me.
Don't be rushing my interview, man. You had interviews an hour long. I got nothing but time today. No, I'll play. Go ahead.
Jamaar is probably my closest pastoral friend. And he's been there with me through some dark times, through some good times. We talk just about every day. We keep each other grounded. We get each other straight on stuff that we may be doing dumb. He saves y'all at Ebenezer St. Mary's Sons too. And I saved y'all at First Baptist East End. I want y'all to know that. Jamaar is heavy on clothes. He's a sneakerhead, as you can see today. What do you do? And I've never asked a preacher this.
Okay.
I'm gonna ask you. How do you decide what to wear outside of Communion Sunday?
Right.
How do you decide what to wear as a young pastor?
Sure.
because he stays on me. Because me and Darren Brandon wear our robes open with our vests.
That's not of God, y'all. If you ever see me do it, I'm trying to be funny.
I'm going to preach Dominique's ordination, and I've got a Murphy robe that I'm
brand new
wear
that he got
open.
custom made. Everybody ain't able. Everybody
You
ain't
wasn't
able.
supposed to tell that. I'm gonna wear it open, and he's gonna be my musician that day, and he's gonna cringe.
I'm gonna wear sunglasses like I'm Ray Charles.
He's gonna cringe. He's much younger than a lot of us. How do you decide what you're gonna put on when you mount the pulpit on Sunday?
Wow, that's a good question. Some of it depends on what mood I'm in. Well, let me go back. Every Sunday at First Baptist is a different flow. Whereas I grew up in most churches, they do their communion Sundays on first Sundays. Our first Sunday is Youth Sunday.
Okay.
And we do communion on fourth Sunday. So I know first Sunday is gonna be dressed down. I'm trying to do sneakers, jeans, be a little more relatable to the young people. Second Sunday is our adult praise team, and service has the contemporary and traditional vibe mixed together. That's kind of the church we are. We are a contemporary traditional Baptist church. Second, third Sunday, I try to feel it out. I may go suit, tie, blazer, slacks. Earlier, when we first came back, I was dressing down a lot because that's what we were doing in the pandemic. We won't, well, let me not lie. I was putting on robes and stuff in the pandemic preaching because I just love that. If I could wear a robe every Sunday, I would. I wear a robe every Sunday.
May the Lord bless you with that.
But that's not wise, in my opinion. And some guys can do it, but they're being their authentic selves. Some guys and girls. For me, I want to be relatable to my audience. So I try to figure what's gonna make me stand out today, since I am the primary voice that will be heard in the pulpit. So it just depends. Then on Communion Sunday, that's our more formal Sunday. So I'm gonna have on, either clergy robe or, suit, tie, what have you. But I just try to feel it out. But I'm gonna tell you where it came from. When I was a little boy, my grandparents made me get my clothes ready the day before.
I did too. That's why I told you we both were raised by similar people.
I'm telling you, the day before.
Yeah. Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening, 5 o'clock. I already knew what I was putting on the wedding on the trend. It was already
you gotta iron it.
That's right.
And
you gotta
all
press
that.
it.
Press it. The tie gotta be right. And so the shoes, and most of my grandmother, she was very particular about how I look. So it kind of comes from that. So now I'm already thinking about what I'm gonna wear probably the Monday leading to the next Sunday.
Yeah, we're related.
Yeah.
We're brothers for real.
And I try to be stylish, but not too flashy. But then every now and then I gotta put a little razzle dazzle on. But I never want people to be so focused on what I have on that they don't hear what I'm saying, or that they take me to be somebody I'm not.
Yeah.
And then you want your people to feel like, my pastor look good today.
And here's my thing. I think my mother, just like your grandmother, spoiled her, because he's spoiled. He's spoiled times 100. And I think they made us somewhat like this, because Sundays, for us, when we were raised, you put your good clothes on.
Absolutely.
And a lot of times, I think we've gotten away from that.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to talk about that. Listen, you're my best friend. Thank you.
Thank you.
For being my friend, for being my brother. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
For what you're doing in the kingdom. He's gonna preach my anniversary first Sunday in December at 12:30. Y'all don't wanna miss it. Y'all wanna come here, somebody preach, we need to come here. My last question to all of the persons I interview, and let me say this too, because I don't want anybody to get jealous. Everybody that I've interviewed this particular Clergy Appreciation Month have been my close friends.
That's dope.
We've all hung out together. We've all ate together. We've been with each other through the darkest of times, through the best. We've celebrated installations and anniversaries with each other. And sometimes as pastors, we don't do that enough.
Right.
But I'm thankful that I have a circle of friends now that we stay on the same page. Nobody's jealous of each other.
No.
Nobody's hating on each other. If somebody gets a new car, we celebrate them. If somebody gets a new church or they do something, we're right there to look at it, check it out. We bounce ideas off each other. Even though he's a better preacher than I am, I'm just better looking.
I'd rather be the other way around.
You have concluded a sermon, and your daddy is shaking hands. And a little black boy, a little black girl, or a little boy, little girl, any color, comes up to you and says, Pastor Jamaar, I want to be like you when I grow up. You're my idol. I want to be like you. What do you say to them?
Pray.
God.
I would say to them, seriously, pray. I would say to them, don't try to be like me too early, too fast. Live your life. Be a kid, be a teenager, be a young adult. Don't become an old man or woman preacher young. Be young. But I would tell them, be yourself, enjoy your life, do your best to develop. We talk a lot about developing a prayer life. You really need to develop a devotional life.
That's true.
Where you spend time with God, whether it's praying, singing, worship, reading scripture. Work on that, because I feel like for what we do, what people don't see us doing in devotional life empowers us to do what we do publicly. So that's probably what I would say. And I would tell them some of the things you asked me. Find your hobby, find you something fun you like to do. Don't look at me and think, number one, don't look at me and think that I do this every day, all day. And number two, don't look at me and think I'm up here and high and holy and perfect, So that's some of the things I would tell them. Try to have fun in life. Pastor Keith Jones, my fraternity brother and retired pastor of Shiloh Baptist Church in Norfolk. When I first became pastor, he said, Jamaar, do me a favor, have fun. Whatever you do in this pastor thing, have fun. So that's what I would tell them. Make sure you're having fun. I'll say that to anybody. Have fun. This has been fun.
This has been fun.
This is great.
Listen, I want to thank you so much. This has been Clergy Appreciation Month. We wanted to do young pastors who have been pastoring under 5 years or as close as we can. And we've had a great time doing it. We've got a surprise interview coming up this weekend. You'll hear more about it. Dominic will be doing some marketing on that. You don't want to miss it. This will be aired this Friday. But God is praised, and we give God praise for all that he's doing in the life and the ministry of Dr. Jamaar Jones, First Baptist Church East End. Next month, get ready, because next month in November, we're devoting the whole month of November to cooks and caterers.
Oh,
I
wow.
can't wait to interview some of our cooks and caterers locally on the Eastern Shore. I'm Palmer Bunting. God bless you, and good night.
Peace.